Hey everyone, welcome to West Coast Barbell Club Exercise Library. Right now we're going to have a quick look at the strict deadlift. Okay, now the strict deadlift is fundamentally exactly the same as your comp deadlift. Okay, the difference being that we're going to be lowering the bar as carefully as possible. Okay, now this can have a bunch of different uses. I actually think it can be really useful for getting a slightly longer eccentric, which might be more conducive to hypertrophy of the glutes and hamstrings potentially. Okay, I certainly know that doing strict stiff-legged deadlifts, which is a video that will follow this one later today, has really got a ton more stress on my hamstrings than pretty much any other deadlift variation that I've done previously, which has been really enjoyable for me, given that I tend to find I get a good stimulus from my quads and glutes, but not too much from my hamstrings with my normal training of the squat and deadlift. Okay, we're coming back to the strict deadlift. Okay, it can be useful potentially for getting more eccentric stress in the movement. Okay, it can also be useful if you're training in a facility that doesn't like you dropping the bar or plates. Okay, certainly work with online clients where that's been the case before, or given our current collective circumstances being stuck at home a lot with COVID-19. Okay, if you're training at home and you want to be respectful of the neighbours, then understandably you want to be able to deadlift quietly. Doing a strict deadlift is a really useful option. Okay, so we'll go through it quickly. If you're unsure about your setup at all, do please check out our comp deadlift video where I go through the full setup for your deadlifts. It's going to be exactly the same as that. I choose to do these beltless and often with straps because I'll often do them for higher reps. But you're going to be doing these as similarly as possible to your comp deadlift unless stated otherwise, and you're going to be lowering the plates to the ground as silently as possible and in as controlled a manner as possible. The plates should almost be silent when they touch the ground. Okay, so it's going to look like this. Okay, so as compared to a normal deadlift, you're likely going to have to breathe and brace for a little bit longer. Okay, that lowering phase being a bit slower is probably going to take it out of you a bit more than your conventional deadlifting, where you may still control the plates to the ground, but under some degree of force they drop to the ground. Okay, if you're actually curious to see a lifter that I think is, just well worth a follow in general anyway, is a guy called Sam Watt. That's Sam Watt, W-A-T-T. Very successful bodybuilder and drug-free powerlifter out of the UK, who as recently as this year, 49 years old, is still setting PRs in his squat and deadlift. Okay, you often watch how he trains. He does a lot of his deadlifting with a very controlled eccentric. The plates almost come to the ground silently when he's deadlifting well above 300 kilos. And the dude's super jacked, super strong. Okay, there's also stories of other powerlifters in years gone by who've had to train out of their garage and largely done all their training with strict deadlifts out of respect for their neighbours, and have said that they feel it was actually beneficial to their deadlift having that additional focus on controlling the eccentric phase or lowering phase of the movement that much more and forcing them to keep tight. Can't afford to drop the bar and reset their position with each rep. They're likely going to drop the bar under greater control, but they're still going to maintain that tension in the bottom position before the next pull. Okay, so I think these can be useful for a number of different reasons. The different training effect they can provide, the ability to allow you to deadlift more quietly if you're training in an environment where that's a necessity, and also for potentially providing you with a novel training stimulus that just allows you to mix things up and try something different. Okay, so that there is our strict deadlift, and if you see them in your program and you have any questions about them, feel free to ask and I'll be happy to help. Thank you.